Hello everyone and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube as always. It's Friday, it's 6:30 and we're here with another positive podcast, which is excellent. I love the habit that we're finding here. So yes, usual housework before we get started. If you could like the video, subscribe to the channel. All the usual stuff. If you subscribe, you can get yourself involved in the live chat. So yes, please do so and get yourself involved in what's quite a packed show, yes, and some rather pleasing things to talk about in terms of the result last night at Ibrox. So I'm Scott Carney. Joining me tonight, first of all, is Alistair Pearson. Ali, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Obviously, we'll get into the performance last night, but yeah, I think tonight will be a fairly positive podcast in terms of where we were about 3-4 weeks ago in this podcast. We dreaded this week coming up. And it started very well for Rangers so far.
It has indeed. And Ross McLean, how's it going, mate?
Good evening, gents. Yeah, all good. Thank you very well. Absolutely buzzing stuff yesterday's performance. Obviously, we'll come into it, but just we're in a good place just now as Rangers fans, and I am delighted to say that. So, looking forward to it. Looking forward to chatting about it. And yeah, good evening to everyone in the chat. Good to see you as always.
Yes, chat, it is good to see you. I can imagine we're all feeling pretty good about ourselves just now, pretty good about our football team, and rightly we should be. We have all of that to come. But yeah, it's been a real positive couple of weeks now, and I think it's been long overdue. It really has, and it all kind of hopefully didn't just come to a paramount last night. Hopefully that peak is very much coming on Sunday, which we will come on and obviously preview the small matter of an Old Firm Cup final. Before we get started, chat, it is your turn to do the business in terms of picking a winner for our Merry Members Christmas giveaway. So we're running this now for the next week. Anyway, yes, it'll be the next week to our channel members. To give them a gift with a chance of winning a gift. So chat, you can't pick number 8, 25 and 56. Gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong. That is correct, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah,
correct.
That's correct. Good. So I need you to pick me a number between 1 and 91, but excluding the three numbers. And the first number that I see in the chat will be the winner of the coveted, as if I'm like, here's what I made earlier, the Chairman Pro. I have it in my hands. This one will be yours, and it's not been used. It's not opened, by the way, just so you know.
Nope.
It's not as if I've used it or anything like that.
Paul's
what do we have? What's the first one?
Paul's in first.
Paul was in first with 52. Let's go to 50. If it's Paul that's 52, we've got a bit of an issue here, don't we? Steve-O Gels, congratulations. Stove-O Gels, it's coming up on here. Stove-O Gels, you are the winner of the coveted Chairman Pro from Manscaped. This is yours. The link for the podcast email is in the description for this podcast. Get in touch with me, mate. We'll get the contact details sorted out and this will be sent through to you. So congratulations to Stove-O Gels, it looks like, on this anyway. I don't know what the channel tag is. I'm so professional at this. I am very professional at this. I don't know what the channel tag thing is. I can't see that. But he is a next level supporter, so he's some lad. He's a top guy. So Stove-O Gels, please get in touch and we will get that sorted and get it out to you, which is much appreciated. Gordon as well, thank you very much. Good start to the podcast tonight. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Gordon. It is good to see you, mate. I've not seen you in a wee while, mate. I've not crossed your path, but I'm sure you'll grab me at one point, mate, when we're up in the club deck. So yes, is that all the homework I had, the housework I had to do? I think that's it. We can now go on and talk about we can go on and talk about last night. Now, obviously, all of you will pretty much be aware that Alistair did the post-match himself last night. I was down south for business yesterday afternoon, and then it was our end-of-year kind of Christmas party thing all rolled into one. I've recently started this new job, so you can imagine their shock and awe and slight confusion in their face when we sat down for dinner at about 10 to 8, and the first thing I did was ask Yes, ask Gavin, who I work with, who understands how much Rangers mean to me. He very kindly brought his laptop, and he has DNT on his iPad even, and sent him a message like, "Mate, can I borrow your iPad, please?" He said, "Absolutely, of course you can." So Gavin, big ups to you, my man. You know exactly who you are. Really do appreciate it, mate. And these people that I'd never met before, because all the tables were mixed, so I wasn't sitting with my team. All these guys I'd never met before. I open an iPad, prop it against the ice bucket that the beer's sitting in, and say, "Never mind me, gentlemen, for the next 2 hours, I'm not going to be much good to you. I've got quite an important game to watch." So, yes, that's the lengths that I went to do it, and the bewilderment.
Was there any Tottenham fans there, Carney?
Yes, there was. No, yeah, don't worry, there's more, some of that to come. Obviously the game kicked off first half, same nothing each. I was like, fine. That wasn't too animated. When we scored, the guys that I was sitting with were even more kind of bewildered by the fact that I went absolutely ballistic sitting at this table. The only Rangers fan pretty much there was another guy who came and watched it with me eventually. I go absolutely mental that we've scored against Tottenham, and I had no idea there was Tottenham fans in the room. And then I think their stream was about 15 seconds ahead of mine wherever he was watching it. And I knew Tottenham had scored before I'd seen it. And he turned round and did that very Tottenham thing, like where they go, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Really, mate?" With all the millions in your team, I just kind of looked at him, really? And Gavin can go over and he said, "I don't know." I'm like, "I'm not going to do anything, mate." I just got a look of, "Yeah, mate, yeah, you know exactly who we are." But yes, anyway, that's enough of my chatting about it last night. Gutted not to have been there, but I did manage to see the game. It's not quite the same, Ali. Look, you were there, mate. Kind of talk us through it. I'm intrigued to hear what it was like, because the highlights, the clips, the things I've seen on social media, the response that I've seen from Rangers fans regarding this result has been pretty amazing. Pride's a lot of the things people are saying, how proud they are of the team for their performance against a team that don't just blow our spend all of sort of our finances out the water. They dwarf them to almost to think that we would not even be in the same footballing world as each other, if that makes sense. It was like we wouldn't even be football teams. But what was it like, mate? What was the noise like?
It was like, the only way I can describe it is it was like going back to the Europa League run to the final a couple of years ago. It was on that level. I know we've played in Europe this season, important games, we've won important games, but it's been slightly flat in terms of because of domestic form, I think. But last night, I had a feel of a big game. Tottenham coming. Tottenham are a bit of a bizarre team down in the Premier League at the moment. That they can go and turn Man City over 4-0, but then get beat off Bournemouth 1-0. So you don't know what you're going to get with them. But they've got big players in their team, spent millions of pounds. And last night going to the game, I expected to see Tottenham have all the ball and us kind of chasing a lot of the time, but it's roles reverse. But in terms of the atmosphere, Carney, I mean, when Rangers went 1-0 up, the place just, it erupted. Similar to when we played Leipzig, and you've seen the famous one of the guy with the camera moving up and down. When they were doing the bouncy at one point, the whole stadium was moving, especially up that club deck. But yeah, I think the fans actually, I think, gave the players in the park an extra 10% last night. I really think they did, even when it went one each. I thought the fans rallied behind them again, and you've seen what you got from the players. But yeah, that's what going to Ibrox is like. That's what a European night Ibrox should be like. And I think a lot of Tottenham fans going there last night, and they were quiet, Carney, for the majority of that game. I mean, they've got about 2 songs, which is the songs are pathetic to us. "Come on, you Spurs." And when the Spurs go marching in,
yeah, that's it.
Is that all yous have got? I mean, it's like Man United. I mean, they're like tin pot fans, to be honest.
United.
But even them going last night, and they had a big support, must have been looking at it going, because I feel like they probably expected they'd come up to Glasgow and sweep us aside easily. They must have probably been shocked at how good Rangers were and how we dominated them for the majority of the game. And overall, yeah, fantastic atmosphere. It sets up nicely for Sunday. But yeah, I just hope it gives them belief going forward, Rangers. But it was a fantastic night to be there, and sorry that you weren't there last night, Carney. You were there in spirit. Dardo was in your seat, so...
Yeah, Dardo was, yeah. Well, the lift must be working at the club deck then. Sorry, Darren. But I think, look, I never usually miss games. I don't, and it's only really because of I've just started with the company. I had to do the company thing. It was one of those things you've got to cross that box off. Do you know what I mean? So I had to go, but I loved that Gav brought that. He brought that obviously for himself, I'd imagine, for his room. But as soon as he got in the van, he went, "Don't worry, mate. I've got my iPad with you. You can watch the game when we'll find a corner in the bar wherever we're going, and we can sit and watch a football." I was like, "You beautiful man, you." I was like, "That's fantastic." So yeah, no, obviously I managed to do it, and I managed to watch it, and it's always, again, I'm very self-indulgent here, I do understand that, but I don't usually watch games of that kind of magnitude on the telly. If it's at Ibrox, I would be at the game. Like, there wouldn't really be a reason for me not to be there. So when you're watching it without, obviously I didn't sit with the sound and that up to bother everybody sitting round about me, but I was looking at it, and I was even saying to the guys next, there was one of the guys sitting next to me, I think he was a Wolves fan, and he was like, "I want Rangers to win as much as you do, mate." He's like, I would be happily see Rangers win. And I was like, "Look at that stadium, mate." I was like, there is teams with about 5-6 times our budget in the England Premier League that could only dream of their stadium looking and sounding like that. I was like, there's nowhere else like it. Thursday nights under the lights, a big European tie. There's nothing comes close to an Ibrox atmosphere. So I'm glad you've confirmed to me that the snippets and bits that I've seen on the highlights video and whatever else are not just kind of fluffed, if that makes sense. That it was generally a fantastic experience, fantastic noise. Ross, look, Tottenham would have probably came here fancying their chances. I think even in the first half, even though it finished nothing each, I thought Rangers were terrific all over the pitch. I really thought we were superb. I thought we have to single out Nico Raskin, and he's coming in for a lot of plaudits right now, and rightly so. He is just literally just made that shot his own. He now commands that bit of the pitch as his own. Maybe we've been playing him slightly out of position. I don't know. Maybe the work that Clement's doing with him is working. Clement made a comment about his diet and stuff like that, which is probably all contributing factors to it. But last night, Nico Raskin was looking like he belonged in the English Premier League and not the guys he was playing against. The wee man was absolutely fantastic.
Exceptional, mate. He was absolutely exceptional. You've got, as you say, millions of pounds of talent, money that we couldn't dream of, and yet Raskin shoving them off the ball, getting by them, absolutely bossing the midfield. It was mouthful and stuff like that. I've got my notes beside me from the game, and at the 25th minute, Nico full stop, Raskin full stop, and that's all I wrote. That's all you need, because the boy was just no words to describe him. He was unbelievable, and yeah, more of that on Sunday, please, Nico. More of that on Sunday. But yeah, I'm very glad that he's came back to this kind of form. Obviously, whenever he came in under Beale, and we're quite keen to get him in, and we're like, right, we've maybe won a bit of a watch here. He kind of fell off a bit, but whatever he is doing in the background, whether it is just a tactical thing, whatever Nico Raskin and Clement's doing, it's working, and that's all we want to see. So Raskin, for me, he was exceptional. Obviously, there was, to be fair, a lot of the players last night get a lot of plaudits from me, but none more so than Nico Raskin, mate. You're spot on.
Yeah, Ali, he's really grown in. We've had conversations. Me and you tend to have quite honest conversations about players, because you usually within about 6.5 seconds of seeing a player have made your mind up about whether he's going to be good or not. I love you for it, mate. I'll always love you for it. But Raskin was one we had conversations about over a couple of years, maybe. We were going, I don't know if there's anything in there. I don't know if we're going to get much from him. He's the perfect example. Almost the perfect example. I don't think we ever completely wrote Raskin off. But did I see him reaching the kind of heights that he's been reaching over these past couple of weeks? No. And to do it against Spurs, the way that he done it, everything about it, I just kept, every time he was doing it, I was like, look at him. He had the bit between his teeth. He knew exactly what it was about. He's becoming a Rangers number 6, mate. That's what we're seeing, witnessing in front of our eyes, and we've got to hope that he continues on this kind of development that he's on, because he's crucial for us now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd written him off tail end of last season when he came back and he was in and out of the team and just didn't look up to it at all. Didn't look interested at times, to be honest. Gave the ball away a lot of time, but since he's been in the team over the last 3-4 games, he's been exceptional. Last night he just went probably one of the best midfield performances I've seen in a long time. Where a Rangers player in Europe, I just thought he bossed the midfield, playing against good players. Let's not forget about that. James Maddison rolling about the park half the time, and he was nicking balls off them, bullying them as well. I mean, he's not a big guy, Raskin, but I mean, he was bullying them at times. I just thought he was exceptional. And that number 6 now, that's the position he plays for Rangers going forward. That is where he plays. He's made that his position. For me, I said last night, build the midfield around him. He's went up levels that I didn't think he had the tail end of last season. I'm not going to get too carried away after one fantastic performance. He needs to back it up. Sunday's the perfect game for me to back it up when we play them. But
in fairness, though, even against Kilmarnock, he was good. I thought he was very good against Kilmarnock. I think that there's probably like the team that as we're all progressing, we're seeing individual players progressing, and Raskin's one of them. Yeah,
no, that's what I was saying. I think the last 3-4 games he's been good. He's been probably one of our best players on the park, Raskin. But last night he just went to a different level for me. I also thought Diamandi, who we've kind of criticised in this podcast, and Europe suits Diamandi. He kind of he complimented Raskin in the middle of the park. I thought last night. Diamandi got a stupid booking in the first half for a handball, and I thought, shite, that might bugger him for the rest of the game in terms of putting challenges in. I thought he was very good last night, Diamandi. He looked like he belonged on that stage last night. But like you say, there's several players we'll probably talk about tonight that are starting to click. We talked going down the road last night, Pizzod, me, Dixie, and Dardo and Scotia, and it's like, what's actually happened over the last 3-4 games? Because it's as if something has clicked, and they're starting to play Rangers. But Raskin in particular, he was like a midfield general in the middle of the park. We've been crying out for someone in the middle of the park to do that for Rangers, and he's grabbed it. And for me, he's a 6 for Rangers going forward.
I'll stick with you, Ali. We'll speak about the left-hand side. We'll talk about the decision at the starting 11 to play Ridvan and to play Jeffy from the start. An interesting call, I'm not going to lie, from the manager. A bit of a brave call, I thought, as well. I thought, God, you're taking not a risk there, probably a calculated risk. We know the manager, he doesn't tend to take very high risks. It'll be well thought out, it'll be well processed, it'll have been through probably about 6 or 7 meetings before he's made that decision. But the decision to do it, I was like, I'm intrigued to see how it worked. Look, we were trying our best to keep their right hand side as quiet as they could. Identified that's where Sean was probably going to do most of his work, was kind of out on that kind of right hand side. It worked, mate. It really did work. I don't know if it's something that we might be seeing going forward, but what did you make of it? Because I think you can't really underestimate, when we all seen the lineup, I think every one of us went, whoa, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I thought he was brave last night, Clement. I think a lot of Rangers fans thought we were going to morph back to, because we didn't have Danilo or Hadji available, we'd morph back to Dessers up top, Barami left, Cherny right. I think that's what we all thought. And when the team came out, I was in the Viceroy with the guys, and we turned around and went, oof, I like that. And everyone in the Viceroy was looking at each other going, well, we're taking the game to Tottenham here. We like the look of it. And fair, you got to give Clement credit. I mean, we've criticised him on this podcast for months and months in terms of we don't think he should be the Rangers manager. But last night, he got it spot on that left-hand side. We've seen Yilmaz recently play just ahead of Jeffy. But last night, I thought he put them in because the two of them give you energy, a lot of energy in the park, and they were going up and down the park. I mean, Jeffy had one in the first half where he gave the ball away, won it back, and gave it away again. But after that, I thought he's getting better and better for me, Jeffy. He's raw at times defensively, but offensively, I think he's brilliant. He can carry the ball up the park, and Yilmaz does the same. I thought Yilmaz was, for a guy that's been out for weeks and weeks and weeks, months probably, he was exceptional again last night. Yilmaz, I thought he was brilliant. And again, it's a position that obviously Cortez isn't fit and available to go there. Barami would prefer to play as the 10, who's been a bit quiet, if I'm being honest, the last couple of games. But yeah, it's something that can work for Rangers going forward. I thought Yilmaz was really good last night, and he drove with balls. Same, they're very similar players. They can interchange as well. So yeah, I think it's something we'll see going forward.
Yeah, Ross, Ali literally took the kind of point I was about to make, is that they are very similar. The runs that they like to do are very similar. They're both very capable of it, don't get me wrong. Ali's right. Jeffy had a wee wobble with a couple of slack passes, but then after that, just kind of knuckled down, whether he just had to calm down. Maybe, again, the noise of Ibrox will not spook players, but it'll give them that, like a rush of adrenaline, maybe, and just a kind of maybe lose their composure a little bit. That the heart's pumping, the blood's pumping, the noise of Ibrox. We know what it's like as fans, so I've got no idea how they can stay composed and play football in it, because I wouldn't be able to. But I'm not a football player, obviously. But the interchanging between the both of them is something that is quite interesting to me, because you're never going to look at it and go, like, Tonks, if you switch it to when James Tavernier used to push himself right forward as well, you would think, oh, Tav's out of position now, somebody's going to need to cover. If it's Jeffy and Yilmaz, there's probably always going to be one of them that won't always go, won't always be the overlap. One of them will be sitting maybe a little bit deeper. It's quite an intelligent thing from Clement. And look, you'll all realise that Clement is beginning to get a little bit of praise from me, and because in my Amazon basket right now there is a massive Belgian humble pie that I am waiting to order. Should what all of us want to happen on Sunday does happen, it will be getting ordered, and we'll all be sitting eating it on air, lads, I'm telling you. But you've got to give Clement credit for it, because it was the right decision to make, and he's identified something that none of us really thought was going to be a solid foundation for that left-hand side. But last night, if we can do it against Tottenham, we can pretty much do it against anyone.
You'd like to think so, mate. You'd like to think so. Even I thought Yilmaz last night, he was the intelligence of some of his runs. Yilmaz, he was going through them. You could see that. Let's be fair. Tottenham last night defensively showed their weaknesses in abundance in the first half. For me, especially, Yilmaz's runs though was the cause of that. He was making right through the middle. They didn't really know what to do, and just that kind of that understanding, as you say, when Yilmaz goes, Jeffy's there. If he's up, he's back. It's so well synchronised, and again, that is, you're right, it is a credit to Clement. That's just sort of kind of 4-dimensional things that we've been looking to see, rather than the 2D. This is how Rangers are going to play. Something that's switching up for the occasion, if you will. We gave Gio praise for in Europe, switching up when we needed to. Oh, that was a genius move. That from Clement last night was probably of a similar kind of calibre, that yeah, he made a decision for that and it worked. And it's so refreshing to see Rangers again on the big stage. We've been talking a few weeks about how, is the kind of fear, if you will, of going to Ibrox for teams, is that still there? People look at that last night and think, that's the Rangers we know. That's Rangers in the last few years that we've came to expect. I think you could hear I think it was Kulusevski in the post-match, how he was saying how Rangers were the better team. People know that Rangers are, that's where Rangers should be. And so in terms of Yilmaz and Jeffy, it's something that I don't know how often you're going to see it, but at least we know that option's there. If for whatever need we need to do something like that at the weekend, we've tried it, we see how it works. It does work. It's just about in the future, what else can you do there? There'll be other interchanges that I'm sure, again, that's why Clement gets paid the big bucks to make those decisions, but things like that, mate, just keep them coming, because that's what will make Rangers a bit more trickier to try and figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that it's the style of player that, with the two left backs, I think it's the style of player that Clement will really like, because they are not fear to come inside, they're not fear to overlap. They will offer options for us attacking. They'll get themselves to the byline and they'll drive, and neither of them are scared to take a shot as well. So it was an interesting decision to do from the start, but it was the correct one that did definitely work out. I don't even think Postecoglou would have seen that one coming. I don't think he would, because Postecoglou's not daft either. He would have thought he was pretty certain, like most fans, I would have thought, that he knew what Clement was going to do in terms of his team selection, and it maybe threw a wee spanner in the works. And yeah, more of that, more to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting, to to keep opposition teams guessing, to keep us not being one-dimensional. We want to be as multi-dimensional as possible. I always say, and I think we spoke about it, and I think it was you that said it, Ross, the last time we were on, you want chaos sometimes when attacking, and all these different options gives you that chaos. The chaos is what leads to goals, leads to space, leads to defenders getting confused about where they're meant to be and who they're meant to be picking up. So all the interchanging bits that he's doing, all the kind of, as I say, I still think it looks like he's just kind of took the handbrake off a lot of the players and just said, not go do what you want as such, but interchange with each other, move about, don't stay still, constantly switch position, have good communication with each other. All this, I think, is beginning to work and giving us a lot more intent going forward. The man that we have to speak about, Alistair, is Igaman. He's a bit of a revelation right now. I think we were all hoping that he would make this impact when he finally got his opportunity, and he's certainly not let us down. There is no other word for that goal, mate. That's superb. If any other player in the world scores that goal like that over the top first time, it doesn't even lash it. He's almost with the side of his foot that he kind of puts it into the bottom corner. It's a fantastic finish for that young lad to be doing that on that stage. And Ibrox obviously erupted at that point, and you could see kind of his reaction from it. But if that was any other player in the world, mate, you'd be seeing it all over the world. And I genuinely mean that. I think that's how good a goal it was. As soon as the ball left Tavernier's foot, I went, whoa. You know that noise that you make? You go, whoa, because you can see the flight of the ball and you're like, Igaman, he's there. The guy is... he has to be credited with a lot of the upturning form that we've seen recently, because his stats say it alone, his movement, his work rate, his impact that he's made. He's a massive part of why I think we've seen an upturning form.
Yeah, he scored 5 and 5, I think, Igaman. What I like about him is I think he's quite unpredictable. I don't know how you defend against him. I just think he's got pace, he's got power. The way he can hold a ball up, he loves to bring a ball down in his chest all the time. Ball sticks to him as well. I thought Tottenham struggled to deal with him at times. He's raw. He is raw at times, but the boy's only, what age he is, 20, 21, whatever it is. He's not played in the big stage, and last night was a big stage for him, and I thought he showed that he belonged there. I thought he troubled Spurs, the way he carries a ball as well. But that goal, I mean, you got to credit Tavernier. I know we've not talked about Tavernier. Tavernier's been slaughtered for weeks and months. I thought he was back to his best last night, Tavernier. I thought he was exceptional last night, Tavernier. Saved us a potential goal near the end as well with a block at the end. But his ball into Igaman. Igaman just needs to connect on it. I thought he was cool, Igaman. I don't think he thought about it. If that's Dessers, is Dessers doing that? I don't know. But Igaman didn't think about it and puts it in the back, and it was a fantastic finish. It was the same as you, Carney. As soon as I left Tav's foot.
Carney's foot? No, it's fine, mate. It was me that crossed it. It was me that crossed it.
As soon as it left Tav's foot, I think the whole stadium thought, oh, here we go. And he put it in. You just got to play the boy from now on. You have to play him. He plays Sunday all day long. I know he went off with I don't know if it was cramp or a slight knock, whatever it is, but he has to play on Sunday. He's getting better and better for me, Igaman. And Clement did say we had to buy this boy this season because we wouldn't be able to get him the following season. And I think we're starting to see. There was one game where I think a couple of games we probably looked at him and thought, oh, I don't know about him. He was looking a wee bit raw, but the last few games he's played, just, for me, he's getting better and better. And he has to play on Sunday because he's got that unpredictable about him in terms of he does know what he's doing, but as a defence, I really don't know how you defend against him. With Dessers, you kind of know where he is and know what he's up to. Igaman,
because he doesn't move, he just stands there. Most of the time.
The only thing I thought Igaman missed last night because he was drifting out to the left-hand side a few times was Danilo. And Danilo will be back on Sunday. And I think that's your two for Sunday.
Ali's getting quite excited. Do you see that, everybody? Ali's got a wee bit of glint back in his eye. It's good to see.
About bloody time.
Exactly. It's been a long time coming, mate. It's been a long time coming. Ross, before I come to you on your take on Igaman, we'll just have a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, their Chairman Pro electric foil shaver is your go-to for precision and style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using the code CLUBAT22 for 20% off and free shipping. You have the skin-safe 4-blade foil for that close, smooth shave when you're looking to go completely clean. And if a clean shave isn't your style, just switch to the skin-safe stubble trimmer to keep your stubble looking sharp and polished. The Chairman Pro comes with unique Flex Adjust technology, helping you maintain great contact with your skin at every angle. And here's something that's going to make your grooming routine even easier. The Chairman Pro is waterproof. The Chairman Pro is so powerful it can tackle up to a 5-day growth, making it perfect whether you're shaving every day or just tidying up after a few days. Get the Chairman Pro today and experience a shave that is as smooth as you deserve. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code CLUBAT22 at manscaped.com. Thank you very much to Manscaped for their continued support of this podcast. If you go to the website and you use our code, you're supporting this podcast, so thank you. I hope you've all bought lovely Christmas presents for people using our code. That would be very much appreciated. But the Chairman Pro, as Stovo Gels is going to find out, is a top bit of kit, generally a top bit of kit. Ali shaves his bum fluff with it, so and he's very impressed with it. So yes, yeah, get over to Manscaped, use our code, that would be very much appreciated. Back to Rangers things, because there's loads of things to talk about. Ross, obviously, we've still got the preview of the Old Firm Cup final to come up. Igaman, the man of the moment, really, just now. I think Ali made reference to the game that we seen him when we were a wee bit unsure and we were thinking maybe he's a wee bit too raw. I think it was a wee bit of trying too hard on his part, because he realised that there was probably a chance for him to break into this first team. Now that he's got this consistent run under his belt, and he will only develop, in my opinion, by playing him. He's really rewarding the gaffer, he's rewarding the fans as well for some pretty spectacular performances. The guy is what we've been looking for, Ross. He's the guy that we want, a mobile forward that will cause all sorts of chaos. He's strong, he's technically very good, he's smart with his movement, he's everything right now, and I'm presuming that you're with Ali that he has to continue to play, he has to continue to start.
Has to, absolutely has to. If Igamani last night was wearing a Tottenham shirt, you wouldn't have been surprised. He was genuinely, the quality on show is stuff that you rarely see. Like, even it's his wee intricate touches, mate. That's just, I think there was I actually wrote down, it was the 40th minute where it was like a double nutmeg in the first half. The composure of the lad, he makes it look effortless, and he's got a wee bit of swag about him as well that we're like, it's just, he is very slowly becoming a fan's favourite, and I'm glad that we have got him, because Clement's right, if an Igamani like that is doing it for another team, watch January, offers will be coming in, he'll have a hefty price tag on him if he's shown that sort of quality. So, and it's good to see that, yes, he's playing well, off the ball, it's great. But as we say, he's scoring goals. When we need him, he's doing what a striker needs to be doing. And likewise, he can play striker. He's good off the left. He's the positive spark that we've been needing. And yeah, I can't say enough good words about him. So he's first name in the team sheet for Sunday. And yeah, just the Igamani Christmas jumper will need to get ordered soon, because it's not long to Christmas now.
Put a Club at 22 logo on it, mate, and we'll sell it. We'll sell millions of it, mate. This time next year, Rodney will be millionaires. I 100% agree. I think Igaman's his upturn in form is just a massive part to me, and what we are seeing from an improvement in this Rangers team. And I think we were all a wee bit hesitant about getting carried away about the kind of upturn in form that we have seen, but when you think of the game from Nice until now as well, everything's been pretty positive. Probably the St Johnstone one's the only outlier of we weren't overly thrilled with what we've seen, but everything else after that, it's been exactly what you want to see a bit from a Rangers team. And I'm hoping that this corner that I said that we were probably on, I'm hoping we're getting towards the end of it. I really do, because we're all desperate for it. We're all desperate for it. We want to be completely behind it. And I wouldn't, as I say, I'm not sitting here and saying I've went full 180 on Clement yet, but I'm not far away. I'm definitely not far away, because the guy's proven me wrong. He seems to be getting the most out of the players now. Whatever has happened, as Ali mentioned earlier, some form of click. There is definitely something that just seems to have worked, and I do think it's maybe not as simple as just not only having Dessers up there as an option, but it has to be a contributing factor. The fact that we have forwards that want to move, we've got forwards that want to create, they want to move about, they want to make the runs that Dessers don't do. And I think it was Ross, even you that mentioned about the Iggerman's chest control. It's ridiculous the way the guy just takes a ball in the chest and turns with it. Yeah, as I say, I'm very impressed with him. I'm getting rather excited about him. I really am. I think he could be something really special for us. It really could. Obviously, he went off last night. I'm hoping that's really more fatigue than anything else, because he did put a hell of an effort in, as the entire team did, but he has played a good bit of football, so you would hope it is just that, and it was more a precaution more than anything else. But he's going to be vital for us, absolutely vital for us, and particularly on Sunday as well. And a spoiler for everybody, as if you didn't know, but he will be in all three of our teams. There is absolutely zero doubt about that, and that's the biggest bit of credit you can give the guy, I think. Well, before we move on, Ali, we'll speak about the back line, because obviously John Souters went down injured. The manager today in the press conference didn't give anything away. He said they're still awaiting results. There's people saying it's a groin injury, it's Achilles. It looked kind of like he kind of twisted. When I seen the replay of it, he looks like he's kind of twisted as he's hit the ball. Bit of a strange one. These things can happen in football, don't get me wrong. But Souter, even Balogun for that matter, and even Proper last night, I don't think they were really, barring the goal where I just thought it was a wee bit messy all over from pretty much the entire team when Tottenham equalised. I think it was a wee bit messy. I think there was tiredness beginning to creep in at that point, and I just think it was a wee bit of a sloppy goal, really. Well worked by Tottenham, don't get me wrong, but not as saying preventable, but we could have handled it better in the nicest possible way. But John Souters, for when he was on the pitch, and then Leon Balogun and Proper for that matter. Proper is another one, mate, that seems to suit European football. It seems to work better for him in European football. It's not the rough and tumble of hammer throws of Scottish football. But again, he should have been well warned about that. He should have been well aware of that before he even came here. That, by the way, you're going to need to get your elbows out from time to time. But the injury, if should it be to John Souters, I think every one of us, correct me if I'm wrong, would have had the back two of Souters and Balogun for the Old Firm on Sunday. It will be a blow if John Souters not there, and he's another one, mate, that even you'll have to admit now that he's proving some doubters wrong. He is really establishing himself now as a starter for Rangers.
Yeah. Now John Souters been playing well the last 4 or 5 games probably. He's started to really up a gear, John Souters. I have said in this podcast, as folk know, that I said that I didn't think he was a first team player. I thought he'd be a very, very good squad player for Rangers, and yeah, the last couple of games he has proven me wrong. I want to see it in a big game, i.e. Sunday. That's when I want to see it with these players. By the looks of it last night, I mean, I'm no bloody doctor to be honest, but by the looks of it, I'd be very surprised if he's available for Sunday. I know Clement doesn't want to tell what's happening, but for me, it'll be Balogun and Proper. Balogun wasn't playing last night because, as you said, I think the back two would have been Souters and Balogun for Sunday. I think he was resting Balogun. Balogun came in last night, and I thought he was faultless, to be honest. I thought he slotted in nicely there. Proper last night, I thought he was decent. I agree. Similar to Diamandi, I think European football suits Proper. It's not as physical and rough and ready as it is domestically in Scotland, but he's the one guy that gives me the fear, Proper, on Sunday. He really does. I've got red flags all over him. I hope he goes on Sunday and has an absolute stormer and proves me wrong. I think Celtic could target him as a weak link for us, if that is the back line. But last night, I don't think he put a foot wrong. I thought he was very good, Proper. I'll give him praise because I thought he was good. Him and Balogun were good. It'll be interesting who the back line is when it comes to Sunday. But I don't think Souters will be playing. But like I say, I'm no doctor.
No, you're not. You're certainly not. And I'm glad of that. I'm glad you're not a doctor. Ross, Shooter has impressed me. We've had chats about him. Shooter definitely has impressed. Obviously, going into the Old Firm, when you look into the Old Firm, the back line's going to be crucial. We know that. We know how Celtic are going to want to play. That they're going to come at us. I do see it being a wee bit harem, kind of scare them kind of game, because I think Rangers will approach it the same way they did Tottenham. I think we'll try and go for it. I think he has to. I think Clement's under... It's the only blemish over this past couple of weeks we've had that I think would stick out like a sore thumb if he doesn't manage to get the result, because he is still in the position where he's not beat Celtic as Rangers manager yet, which has to change. Any successful Rangers manager cannot be classed as successful if you don't beat the other side of the city. It's just as simple as that. The thing with Shooter, if he doesn't play, Ross, Celtic are not known for being the most physical of teams in terms of along the front line. Maybe they'll change approach if they know that Shooter isn't going to play, and they'll maybe play either, who would probably give Proper more of a hard time than physically than what Kyogo would. I think Kyogo is still very much a danger man for them, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I am just blinded by how good the performance was maybe last night that I'm thinking, okay, we'll be okay with Proper and Balogun. But on that last night, you're looking at it and you're going, they managed Tottenham all right. Like they were fine. Both of them were solid enough. I know we'd all have loved for Balogun to get that rest, that full rest. Obviously, he had to come on. But if it is to be Proper and Balogun, do you think that's enough? Do you think that's going to be enough to keep things sure at the back for Rangers?
Honestly, I don't know. I hope it is. I think you're right. The physicality aspect, Celtic are maybe not as maybe a come on like hammer thrower point of view. Don't get me wrong, they've got the quality to level it out, but I don't know. It's such a Rangers thing, isn't it? It's just you knew something like that was going to happen, and the one guy who've been given so much praise for in the last few weeks, John Souttar. It's typical, and it's a guy who he's played in domestic cup finals. He's probably one of the heads you want in there, especially if, and we'll come on to if your captain's not going to be there. If a John Souttar was going to be there, you'd maybe be a bit more assured. But again, as we were saying last week, mate, Balogun gets it, and he's as well form wise. He's on it at the moment. I do think Proper. He had an okay game last night. He was putting in a good few tackles. It's just. It always comes back to that last Old Firm where Proper was very much rabbit in the headlights, and again we'll see what comes from it. I do agree with Ali. I doubt Souttar will be there. I have that kind of feeling about it. Again, no doctor either, but it's very much.
Sure, you look more like Dr. Nally does.
If I want to change uni course, then that might be on the cards. But. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Right, we'll see what happens. There's whatever it is. There's defensively all over the back line needs to be on at the weekend. From goalkeeper all the way through the back four. And if it is the game that Proper, does he make a bit of a statement to the Rangers fans? I hope so. I hope number 4 Robin Proper is the new saying. And yeah, that's Sunday's his stage, mate, to go and show it.
Yeah, it looks like it might be that way. Sid has just asked from Toronto, which still always blows my mind when there's people all over the world, even though I know Justin's in Texas, but he's asked what's wrong with Shooter. We don't know. Obviously, it's rumoured to be a groin strain due to because he had to go off last night, but Clement didn't. And if you just joined me, it's because Clement didn't confirm or deny anything in the press conference. He did say Shooter would give anything to play in this game, and I don't doubt that for a second. I think John Shooter himself knows that he's in a bit of form and he's finding his feet, so he'll want to play that game. There is no doubt about it. Clement's not a guy that takes risks with players though, so if there is any doubt, I don't think you'll see John Shooter, and I hope Ali is wrong and Shooter does play, because I would much prefer to see Shooter and Balogun playing that. We'll stick with the back line, mate. Obviously, looking into Sunday, Ali, James Tavernier is one that we have to discuss. I think we all know it'll be Jeff Day at left back, or Yilmaz, or whatever he decides to do on that left hand side. Be interested to hear the teams. James Tavernier has improved, mate. The drop out of the team to rest him, if you like, it's worked. Well, you can't deny that it's worked. James Tavernier has come back and put in some brilliant performances. And I'm not saying he's the James Tavernier of old, but he's a different evolution of James Tavernier is probably what I'm kind of getting at with him just now. Last night he was excellent. I mean, he was just brilliant. He led from the back last night. He did the job that he wants to do. It's his stage as well. Tav's had a very successful career in the Europa League with Rangers. He really has. He's played some brilliant games, scored some memorable goals for us. The Dortmund one's always one that will stand out to you due to the noise that night, and even the early goal. What was the early goal against Red Star? Was it Red Star?
Scored most of them,
Yeah, he scored most of them. But the one where he slid into the back post, that one. What do we do on Sunday, Ali? We all know that it's Mida will play. I think their front line will be Mida, Kyogo, and Kuhn. I think that will be their front three. Kuhn is in form. I'm not going to he is also a real concern, I think, for us because he is very much in form. Not a concern. He's just one we need to keep an eye on. I don't like saying a concern. None of them concern me. What are you talking about? None of them concern me. But the Maeda and Tavernier thing, mate, we've seen it far too many times. It's a movie that I hate, but I've continuously had to watch it over previous seasons. What does he do here? Because there's no doubt that Tav's finding form. Yes, Sterling came on last night, was solid enough when he came on, and absolutely nothing wrong with him, as things usually are with Sterling. He's the only one that would naturally slip into the right back position to take over from James Tavernier. What do you do on Sunday?
Oh, I think about 3 weeks ago it would have been an easy answer for that one. But yeah, Tav has hit form. I thought he was exceptional last night. But I think you look at this game in isolation. We've played Celtic umpteen times. Maeda is the one where they get joy with constantly. And it's with the one they'll target again if Tav plays. Sterling came on and played just in front of him last night. Looks ready to go for me. If I'm looking at it on an individual game basis against Celtic, and we've played them previously, Sterling plays for me because we know what Maeda's got. Maeda's got pace, he's got energy, and we've seen Sterling play there before. We played Celtic at Parkhead. Oh, was it last season? And Sterling played. I think he actually came out and played right centre half or something, but he did very well against Maeda. It kind of nullified him a bit. I'd be playing Sterling. And it sounds bad because Tav's playing extremely well the last 3 games and he's the Rangers captain. But in terms of Rangers winning a trophy on Sunday, and that's the most important thing, I'd be playing Sterling at right back. Tav potentially could come on because, as you know, Sterling doesn't tend to last 90 minutes for Rangers. He'd be a good option to have to bring off the bench because this game could go to extra time. I don't think I could take it if it goes to extra time, but it could on Sunday. So I would start Sterling personally on Sunday.
I think Ross, James Tavernier's a big boy. He's a big lad. He knows himself that there is definitely probably scar tissue with him up against Maeda. It will be Maeda that lines up at Tavernier. I've got absolutely zero doubt about that. Is it unfair in James Tavernier for him not to start due to the performances that he's put in? Because Sterling has been good, but he's not had consistent runs, which isn't Sterling's fault. I do get that, but I am all about playing players that are in form. James Tavernier looks like he's found form. It's a very catch-22 situation for me where I'm like, damned if we do and damned if we don't, because I don't want to see Tavernier against Maeda. Honestly, I don't, but I'm going, well, the guy's in form. He has shown a bit of form. It's a tricky one. I really do think it's a difficult one. I think see if we play him and he's great and it works and we win, he'll come on to be applauded for it. See if we play him and we get beat and that one of the goals comes from that side when Maeda rips Tavernier apart, he'll get slated for it. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. What would you do, Ross?
I think it needs to be Sterling, to be honest. I do think it needs to be Sterling. Could this be a situation with Command that we're speaking about, what he's done with Jeffy and Yilmaz? Could this be some sort of position switch that could have played elsewhere? Could he play further up? Could he still fit both of them in? I don't know. We'll need to see. I think we've seen I love Tav to bits. I do. I'll back him to the hill. We've seen the movie with Tavernier against Maida too many times to, if we were to do it again, it would almost be insanity because you know exactly how it's going to happen. And it's no fault in Tav. As we say, he's got a lot of miles in his legs. He's been in that position for many, many years now. And it's just unfortunate that the guy who he's up against is potentially the fastest footballer you'll come against in the league. So for me, Sterling will be from the start. I think if Clement does start Tav and the same happens again, almost the credit that Clement's got from the fans might start to come away a wee bit if fans do see him maybe take that approach that hasn't worked. But I do completely get what you mean with it because you look at last night and both defensively and offensively, he was good last night. He was good. Don't get me wrong, he had a few moments, but overall, Tav was showing a bit of promise. So for me, I'd be starting Sterling. I would, but I do agree with Ali. He's a great option to have off the bench. I mean, we know the quality Tav's got, but I mean, literally as recent as last night, that cross, nobody in our team does that other than Tav. Tav's got that in him, and that's the sort of things that you can come away winning games. So yeah, I think Sterling's your man, but I was going to say it's a good dilemma to have. It's not a good dilemma to have because the consequences are you win a shiny thing or you don't. So I'd be starting Sterling to be safe. But yeah, sorry James, sorry.
Yeah, I think it is. It's difficult, and it's probably no coincidence as well that I think Tav's looking better and the team's looking better. I think Tav is always going to be the whipping boy, and he'll be like that forever. And he's took criticism off us, and rightly so. I still think he should have left, but he is here, so you have to play him. He's a club captain. Clement has made a point of not playing him for a run of games when Casemiro was fit, obviously. He made the choice not to do that. And somebody made a point in there too, like we might need to even utilise Sterling at centre half. And I kind of went, I've not actually thought about that. You could play Sterling at right centre half and then play Balogun as left centre half if he's not wanting to go be proper in this game. Interesting, an interesting one to kind of think over. But yeah, I think the back line is critical as well as everywhere else and the on the park for Rangers. Ali, we'll do full teams at the end, but we'll speak about the midfield lineup and what we think and how we think it's going to be critical for Rangers to succeed there and what you think we're going to do. I think he starts with Raskin and Barron. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Diamandi was really good last night, but I've seen Diamandi in Old Firms and he gets swallowed up by the occasion. I think sometimes he gets a bit lost. I think we need energy in the middle of the park. Celtic's got a good three in terms of McGregor, Hatate, and who's else going to play for them? It'll be that Engels or Bernardo probably. So that they've got a lot of legs and energy in the middle of the park. We need to match it. So I Raskin, I think Barron sits beside him, and I think Hadji comes back in, which I don't think again. I think I would say that 4 or 5 weeks ago. Hadji, I think, deserves to play as the 10. I know he'll come on to teams and that. Barami's been a bit quiet in the last few games. I've seen him playing a 10 now. I think Hadji deserves to play. I think Hadji's a 10 opener. I know he's not get pace, but I think he can play that colour ball. I think he deserves to play Hadji. So that would be my midfield. But in terms of the two, for energy, Raskin all day long. And yes, I'd play Barron. And you've got good options off the bench when you say you've got Diamandi to come on, possibly. Kieran Dowell. was the comments there. But yeah, that's the three I would play for the midfield. We're slowly getting to our teams here, by the way.
Yeah, slowly working up. We're slowly working through the team here, mate. Yeah, kind of what I wanted to do because I think we'll all pick the same team, mate. I really do. I think we'll all be similar. Even though we had that conversation about Tavernier, I just think it was right to have the talk because Tavernier does deserve the credit. But I think we're under no illusions that we have seen Diamandi previously in Old Firm games and it's not really went very well for him. Just to try and gain the control of the midfield like we need to do in pretty much every Old Firm game. It's always spoke about the battle of the midfield will be one that does it, but it's true. We need to get control. We need to stop them being able to boss the games. We need to stop Cal McGregor thinking he's got the run of us. And we have to get control of that at the middle of the pitch. Ross, if you've got any different three in the midfield, if you like, as the way we speak about it anyway, then please do say so. But the front line, I think it picks itself, mate. I think you have to go Igaman, Danilo and Tierney.
Kieran Dill. No, not a chance. Not a chance for me.
Not
Ali.
a chance.
No. I think, yeah, it does pick itself. Raskin, probably Barron, because you're right. Diamande, he had a great game last night, and I want to see more from that from Diamande, because he's a player we've brought in for a good bit of money, showed a good bit of promise. We want to see more of that, but I do think it'll be Raskin, Barron, and then Hadji comes back in. Sunday's a massive game for Hadji. Hadji hasn't put an Old Firm in literally years, and he'll be the one game that he, as a Rangers fan, let's be fair, is dreaming about, is that Old Firm. This is his chance to go and really cement his name in the starting 11. So yeah, very much as we've been saying the last few weeks, all this kind of build up, all these last few weeks have been leading up to Sunday. Yes, last night was a massive game. That'll go down as a well thought of night at Ibrox, but everything's been leading up to Sunday, and I think going in, Raskin, Barron, Hadji, if that is your midfield three, I'm confident. I would be confident there. Obviously, yes, they have got quality in the midfield. That's one thing we always say every Old Firm, is that you need to win that midfield battle. But with the current form that we're in, I do think we could have enough there. You would maybe argue that, do you bring in Diamande instead of Barron? We've seen how Raskin, when he is that solo number 6, does he control it a bit better? Does that suit his game more? And then obviously you have the legs of Barron. Could he come on later on like he did last night? I don't know, but I think I'd probably be going Raskin, Barron, Hadji, and yeah, it's going to be, as every position in the park, mate, midfield's going to be critical.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you can see that we've picked a team there. So it'll be Cammy Bell, Richie Foster, Bell Mosney. No, I'm kidding. Butland, Tavernier. I think it will be, depending, if Suter's fit, he plays, obviously. It'll be Suter and Balogun. If not, I think it will be Balogun and Proper, even though there could be a shout for Sterling there. Jeffrey at left back, Barron, Raskin, Hadji is a 10. Then the front three of Igaman, Danilo and Tierney. Any changes to that, Alistair?
No.
That's the team. I thought we would go similar to that, hence why I'd done that the way that I did, because I thought we would all pick the same team. I think it's critical for Rangers to play that front three. Igaman and Danilo have to cause that chaos. They have to make that Celtic backline uncertain and unsure about things. If players have only got 60 minutes in their legs, you play them from the start and try and get the game won by 60 minutes. That's the way it goes. None of this, we'll just play them for the last 30. No. This game is far too big for Clermont. There's no getting away that Clermont has to win this game. There a lot of people will say it, Ali. I don't think we can deny that until Clermont gets a win in an Old Firm, we'll never be fully backed by the Rangers support. However, he is very close to completely turning the Rangers crowd back in favour of him. I wouldn't say everybody lost faith with Clermont, but I would say it was in the high 90% of Rangers fans had lost their patience with Clermont. But it's crucial for him, and you can finish with your score prediction.
Yeah, for me, Clermont's got to win. He has to. He's not beaten Celtic since he's been Rangers manager. We won the League Cup last year, obviously against Aberdeen, but he's got to beat Celtic. That's the marker when you come to be the manager of Glasgow Rangers. You have to beat the other side of the city. He's not done it. It's a to get the fans turned around, like you say, Carney. It's the perfect game for him. The league. I know the league is done, let's be honest about it. I know there are some optimistic fans out there that think it can be turned round. Mathematically, yes, it can. But to put a marker down, Sunday's the perfect game for Clermont. And to get the fans back on side with them and the players. I think they've clicked at the right time, Rangers. I think they've given the support, optimism going into Sunday. Like I say, 3-4 weeks ago as a support, I think we were dreading this game coming up Sunday. We honestly thought it would be a cricket score for Celtic. I think they would have a field day. We're now going in with a slight bit of confidence going into the game. I think we're optimistic as Rangers fans.
There's a buzz again. There's a buzz with the support.
I mean, let's be honest, Celtic's a good team. They're playing really well this season. You've got to give them credit there. They will be the favourites for the cup final on Sunday, and rightfully so. But we've given ourselves a chance, more than a chance. And I think if we play the way we played last night, the basics, we just did the basics last night. Application, desire, everything Haymarch goes on about when he was on a podcast. I thought we did it last night, and you showed what you got for it. And I think if Rangers turn up and do what they're going to did against Spurs, we've got more than a chance of beating Celtic. So my scoreline is, oh God, I think it's going to be one each, and I think it's going to go to extra time. And similar to that semi-final when Sakala didn't score, but it was an own goal, I think it'll be 2-1 Rangers, and Dessers will score the winning goal in extra time.
Well, I'll take it, mate. I'll absolutely take it. Ross, crucial for Clermont to get this win, mate. It really is, and you can give your score prediction.
Wow, Alex, see if that comes true. That's honestly what I'd do to see that.
If that comes true, Ross,
Yeah.
we'll get a tattoo
I don't know.
artist to give Ali a tattoo of Dessers on his face.
100%. 100%, and it'll be Jamie who does it for you. I'm sure you'll be well up for that, the D9 fan himself. But yeah, look, I think I'm gonna agree. I think it has 2-1 Rangers written all over it for me. That semi-final I was talking about, we came off the back of that house game against Braga. We came away on the Thursday night, put in that shift, and people are coming away thinking, how have they done that on the Sunday? Let's see that again. It sets us up perfectly to do that again. The Rangers team of the last few weeks built up a good bit of credit for himself. Manager to the team. Sundays where you can really turn fans back in your favour. It's been a tricky, let's be fair, a tricky few months as Rangers fans. Sunday, going to the new year, a cup won. That's all we can ask for. And I think the players, they will know. And yeah, I think 2-1 Rangers, and oh wow, you know what? He's going to get a reward for his recent performances. Nicholas Raskin, first goal scorer.
I'll take it. I'm going to go 3-2 Rangers, and I'm going to go for Tavernier to score the first goal for Rangers. I think it'll be 2 each at full time, and I think it'll go extra time and we'll win it in full time. Look, it's nice to be sitting here having this conversation like this. It's nice the kind of positive weeks that we've had and the upturn of performances that we've seen. And I mentioned that as Ali was talking, and I shrewdly spoke over the top of him. There is a buzz back, and I've got a buzz for this. I've got a buzz for Sunday. I wasn't looking forward. Ali sent me a message to say the tickets for the Old Firm have arrived, and I sent him back crying faces. So that kind of shows you where I was at. In fact, I think it was a gif of a guy crying is what I sent back to Alistair. But now I'm really looking forward to this. I am really looking forward to this, because if Rangers do go out there and they do give that application, they do give that desire, they believe in themselves, they be brave, and they take their chances when they come their way, we've got every chance. We've got every single chance. We need to be the animal that we have seen collectively over the last couple of weeks. That all needs to come together as one, and we need to go out on Sunday and just give it our all. Don't let them think they can run over the top of us. Have belief in yourself. Change the narrative. That's what I want Rangers to do. Go out there, put a performance in, bring us a shiny thing home and turn our season around. That is what we all very much hope for, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. That will do us for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to everybody in the chat for getting involved. Really do appreciate it. Ali, for tonight, thank you very much, mate, and I will see you on Sunday.
Yes, you will see me on Sunday. The Viceroy is kindly opening slightly earlier than 12 o'clock.
Oh, are they? That's nice of them.
For some beverage, that is nice of them. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Sunday, Carney. Obviously, you, myself, Dixie, and Scotia, we're all sitting together at Hampden, so I look forward to it. But yeah, I agree. Rangers, if they can show that application, desire, belief is the big one for me against them. Take it to them. I watched Bruges actually play against Celtic a couple of weeks ago, and I thought they were a good blueprint in how to play against Celtic. I think we're starting to get the players back that we can do that press against Celtic. Just leave it all in the park, Rangers. I can take it if Celtic beat us on the day and they're the better team, but as long as Rangers show 100% and give everything, I can take it as a Rangers fan. But go there and show us. Do your talking in the park. It's there for them. It's there to get the fans behind. And yeah, as always, it is over to you, Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Ross, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, mate, as always. Thank you, gents. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna struggle to sleep this weekend. It's very much just the nerves are it's tangible. It is the one thing that, these games, cup finals against Celtic, it doesn't get any bigger. And yeah, strap ourselves in because Sunday, I'm feeling positive, lads. I think the positivity came at the right reason for a reason, and yeah, just bring a big shiny thing at home Rangers on Sunday, and that'll do us nicely. So everyone in the chat, I hope that we're all speaking positively this time next week, and yeah, just play up the famous Glasgow Rangers as always.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what we've got to hope for, is that you see very happy faces, and it'll probably be Alistair and I hope you see our very happy faces on Sunday. I really do, and I hope your team wins. Go out there and just do the business, Rangers. Go out and do it. Go out and change this narrative, and and we'll see where we are, where the dust settles. This is a chance for us to try and recoup something from this season, try and change the way that the things that we have been seeing and the upturning form that we have seen. We have to put all that into good use and not make it be for nothing. Go out there and just do them, Rangers, and bring that shiny thing home. That would just be absolutely fantastic. As Ross said, play up the famous Glasgow Rangers. As Ali says, it's over to you, Rangers. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you all on Sunday. Cheers, everybody.